would you really understand what is going to happen during labor? What are the questions you would be asking your caregiver? What are the medical interventions? So birth preparation is all about like from finding the right caregiver to your physical health. Lifting weight or bending down was like, is it okay, ma'am, to really do that? That was the first question always they ask, right, during prenatal fitness.
When can a pregnant mother actually start working out? When are they not supposed to be doing fitness?
Importance of being healthy during pregnancy, which can lead to a very healthy postpartum phase as well. It's just not about mothers, I would say. It's also about partner support, what they have gotten during labor and pregnancy. So the journey from pregnancy to parenting is not very simple and not very complex. Also, it's a balance of both, I would say. Most of the mothers, 80% of the moms come back and talk about like, I'm suffering from lack of milk. My baby is not able to latch the nipple. Every birth begins with a story. Some are whispered in hospital corridors and some begin in a womb. And some stories stay with us for a lifetime. Hello, welcome to the very first episode of Pregnancy to Parenting podcast. I am Shri, a certified pregnancy and postpartum fitness educator, a childbirth educator, and also the founder of Aura Birthing Partner. Aura was started with the belief that no women should feel alone in their journey from motherhood to parenting. Over the years, I have supported thousands of women through their pregnancy, labor, and postpartum care phase. This podcast is for all the honest conversations, learnings, and a lot of expert talks. Today, in this podcast, I have Kailash with me, who is also my partner in life. And over to you.
I'm also the co-founder of Aura. So today, I interestingly will be playing not just the guest, but the host who will be asking Shri the questions. So Shri, why are we here today? What are we going to discuss in this particular podcast?
So this podcast is for all women as well as the couples around, where they have a lot of fear, inhibitions when they are going through the pregnancy, when they are going through labor, and also the postpartum phase. So we are here to break a lot of myths, revolving around it. And yes, of course, the learnings, and I'll share my expertise as well.
A lot of times we say that education is extremely important. It is, the purpose of education is to be prepared. So even in pregnancy, education is important. Is it important? Is it just that some parents go through it without? I mean, is it okay to go through it without any informed education?
I believe education is very important. More than education is all about preparation, finding the right OBGYN from starting. When we talk about when you say preparation, it also involves finding the right OBGYN for yourself to ensure that you also work on the similar belief system. There should be a connect again. Starting from the OBGYN, now moving on to your prenatal fitness, how your body reacts during your pregnancy, how fit and healthy you are. That matters a lot. Post that, it's all about preparation of your mind, preparation of your body. How would you really understand what is going to happen during labor? What are the questions you would be asking your caregiver? What are the medical interventions? So birth preparation is all about like from finding the right caregiver to your physical health. Apart from that, like the couple's preparation towards labor and also the postpartum phase, how would they handle the parenting phase? So that's all about the, deep diving into the birth preparation.
So it's not just about finding the right OBGYN. It doesn't end there, right?
Not at all. It's more towards diving deeper into a lot of subtopics of your phases, because pregnancy is very deep. But more to that, the labor and the birth preparation is also quite deeper. So obviously, it's a vast topic, but at the same time, it's more about like knowing, understanding, getting the right evidence-based information from the right experts, from the right professional. This is how you will get through the pregnancy and the labor phase.
So you also spoke about Aura. And how it has helped. So how has it exactly helped mothers and parents? Could you throw some light on that part, please?
So it's been over 5 years, I would say, almost 5 years. And I'm very proud of the fact that how Aura has shaped into starting from one mother where lifting weight or bending down was like, is it okay, ma'am, to really do that? That was the first question always they ask, right, during prenatal fitness. But post that, mothers started to become so, informative towards a lot of different forms of fitness. And that's how, the confidence start to come in through that, because there is a lot of societal pressure when you say lifting dumbbells or doing exercises. So yes, we are breaking the myth still. And we have seen very successful births so far with a lot of Aura mothers. As I said, over the years, I have supported like thousands of women here. That shows a lot positivity towards their body, positivity towards their mind, how the partners came to support. So it's just not about mothers, I would say. It's also about partner support, what they have gotten during labor and pregnancy and postpartum.
Right. So you did speak about you touched at least 1,000 mothers. Is there a number, some statistics to that? How many mothers have you helped?
Talking about that, I would say more than 5,000 to 6,000. Yes, when we started Aura, we started with regards to the health camps. So I did a lot of health camps also for the government hospital, which is not in the news so much, but it's more about like, understanding what their rituals are, understanding how their body is, and working with the rural moms, working with the demographically, it's very different, the rural as well as the the urban mothers, how mothers are well informed in the urban areas, but in the rural areas it's not much. It's more towards the myths, what they are listening from their mom-in-laws or from their parents, right? So yeah, as in like, there was a difference, but at the same time, it was really great to see how we have informed them about a lot of the benefits of exercises, importance of being healthy during pregnancy, which can lead to a very healthy postpartum phase as well. So yes.
Right. So let's discuss about fitness during pregnancy. When can a pregnant mother actually start working out, or is there some kind of something that they need to have a checklist sort of, so that they can understand, okay, this is the right time to start? When can a pregnant mother start? Because I'm sure a lot of mothers who are watching this would have that question in their mind.
When you say start, I would say fitness should never be stopping at any point of time, because it's more about a lifestyle, I would say. But yes, pregnancy fitness was also a myth. To do something around pregnancy or, to include any forms of exercises was always a myth. But yes, but right now we see a lot of changes which is happening, thanks to a lot of professionals, thanks to the caregivers also who are educating the mothers to be healthy, to be fit. But yes, coming to your question, it's more about like they can start anytime after they get a go-ahead from their caregiver. Talking
So when you
about
say
the weeks, caregivers are basically the OBGYNs, obstetricians, or the gynecologists, what you say in the layman terms. And they can start anytime from 9th week, 10th week, after they get a go-ahead. Because pregnancies are different. It comes with different medical issues. So depending on their medical conditions, the caregiver also gauge which week would be better for them, and that's how they get a go-ahead from their caregivers.
Now, after a pandemic, we've had everyone going online in terms of fitness, in the sense that they want to watch certain videos and then start working out. Is that advisable for pregnant mothers?
Okay, so in India, when we talk about, we see the truth here itself. I started with my YouTube, by seeing the YouTube tutorial, right? Okay. So when I was pregnant, I did not find any resources specifically for the pregnant mothers, wherein like today, talking about Aura, they have the community.
This was, how long was this?
That was 8.5 years back. Yes, 2017, 2016. Where we did not see any sort of centers or any professionals who are guiding the pregnant mothers,
Mm.
like walking into a center where I see the old, the couple, a child, woman again, but at the same time, I did not find anybody pregnant there. So yes, so a lot of has been changed. At the same time, what we see is a great education, what is coming all the way for the pregnant moms. As a pregnancy and a postpartum fitness educator, I would say definitely not. But yes, Indians are doing it. Most of the women are doing it. The reason behind they don't have the guidance, right? But at the same time, I would say no. But in case if you do not have any help, make sure that you take a go ahead from your caregiver and then try to do it, because you would know where to really stop and what to really do. But yes, it is not really advisable to go ahead and just watch YouTube, because for example, if you have low-lying placenta case, or if you have gestational diabetes.
What is low-lying placenta?
Okay, so low-lying placenta is basically the placenta is very low, which means a little bit closer to the cervix. Okay. And that's where, which is not again safer for any pregnancy and birth. So yeah, so you should not be doing exercises during low-lying placenta cases. But again, it comes with the inverted commas where you have the right guidance. So today we have like almost 10 moms in the last 6 months who have low-lying placenta cases, and they had very successful births in terms of the vaginal births, gentle C-section as well. So yeah, with the right guidance, with the right education, we always say make sure that you do the exercises. But with YouTube, what happens? There is no guidance. There is no mentorship. How much to bend, how to bend. There is no personalization. There is no customization based on your medical condition, right? In general, we talk about it. Even, for example, today, even if we are putting the reels on the Instagram page, we do try to put out the disclaimer, but then the contraindications are so many today that we cannot really put that. That's why we say, like, it's always safe to make sure that you do it under the guidance.
Right. So interestingly, that was my next question as to what are the medical conditions that mothers would have, or is it, when are they not supposed to be doing fitness?
Look, there are a lot of medical reasons, I would say, what we have seen it in the past. The first is always the heart and the lung disease, or even the liver disease also. The doctors will not give a go ahead, right? Second is also the low-lying placenta when it is very close to the cervix. That is something like the caregivers do not want to go ahead, because they do not know whose hands they are in, even if they are doing the prenatal fitness, even if they are doing prenatal yoga. So as I said,
what could happen in that case when somebody has a low-lying placenta and they watch a YouTube video and they're not supposed to do a certain exercise and they go ahead and do it?
Because of the lack of guidance, the mothers really do not know how much to bend, whether they have to do the full squats or not. Ideally, you should not be doing any pelvic floor exercises during that time. And that's what we take care at Aura, right? We do not let them do those. Now imagine if a woman is trying to do those exercises because the other party, again, the YouTube mentor, has not really given any disclaimer about the low-lying placenta, and the mother who is doing it. Now that leads to the preterm birth again. So that is very, very unsafe for the baby as well as the mother. So always take the guidance under the supervision of the expert professionals, I would say, who are more certified. Not just the random certifications, I would say, who has really gone through a valid certifications again. So that matters a lot, by the way.
Now, also, a lot of pregnant women go through nausea, morning and evening sickness. Would fitness help, or would fitness aggravate that condition?
Good question, because I believe 50 to 60% mothers do go through this in the first trimester. And
did you go through it?
A bit, I would say. Not too much, maybe because I was too inclined towards my work. So yes, mothers do go through, by the way, and we cannot really reject that condition at all. So fitness will not help or cure the nausea, right? What it will do is basically to deviate your mind also. Makes your blood pressure again not to spike up, but at the same time letting the blood flow The blood circulation becomes better, and it leads to what? The healthy development of the mother and the baby. So it is not going to cure you, but it is going to give you a good feeling about your body and the mind. And imagine you're coming to a community of moms. They are all pregnant and they are also going through those different categories or different medical issues. But when you see them and you feel like, this is amazing, like, I can also do it. But yes, with nausea, we do take care of a couple of exercises which we try to avoid with them.
Okay, so interestingly, that is actually, we've covered so many parts of fitness during pregnancy, but what are those exercises that are supposed to be done, especially with regards to medical conditions, especially also with regards to the sickness, nausea? I mean, I'm sure if let's say I'm someone who's a husband of a pregnant lady right now, and my wife is worried about getting into fitness. What advice would you give in terms of exercises? How, I mean, of course, you spoke about getting the go ahead from the caregiver, but what are those things that I should keep in mind in terms of exercises per se, specifically related to exercises?
Well, a couple of things I would say. It's a very good question, I would say, quite interesting, because as a couple coming together, they always have this question whether she can do it. Different forms of fitness. That's something what they say. Yoga is primarily quite gentle on the body, but at the same time, we also talk about the strength training, right? It plays a vital role in the pregnancy fitness. But we'll come to that, why strength training is also important. But coming back to your question here, yes, there are a couple of exercises what we say you should not be doing. But at the same time, when a couple or when a mother approaches us, what we say is also not to do any intensity in the first trimester of yours. Or as in, like, when you're joining, you have to make sure that you give your body that habit of starting the fitness, basically. The second trimester is more about prepping your body with regards to your strength.
Going back to what is intensity? I mean,
when we talk about intensity, it should not become overwhelming. Like, I am doing the fitness. I'll have a very healthy birth.
You've been doing more reps.
Yes, more reps, and also not listening to the professionals also, like, doing something on your own apart from your own session. These are going beyond intensity. I would say never do that, because every professional, when they come, through their expertise, they also plan a structure program for you, right? So that is something like you have to really listen to. Most importantly, the first trimester is all about listening to your body. How much you can really move, that is something important. So movement is something what we say, and habit together, right? Gentle exercises, gentle stretches again, even when it comes to the strength training also, gentle way, but at the same time not too intense also for the body, where we say, walk and talk theory, in the prenatal fitness, when a mother is kind of walking and she's also doing the fitness. But in case if we ask certain questions in the sessions or something, and if she's unable to answer, and if she's kind of panting off, that means that is too intense, right? So this is why we say, like, don't do too intense with your body, because the first is only about giving that habit, being consistent with your routine, letting your body understand. You should give that muscle memory to your body that, hey, I'm in a routine workout right now. Second trimester is more about, like, prepping the body towards the labor and the birthing, right? And third trimester is more towards the mobility, the birth preparation, more towards the hip openers, where you are really getting educated more towards the labor and the birth preparation of the body and the mind. So yes, so it divides into 3 phases again.
We spoke about how our grandparents were more involved in the pregnancy of our aunts and elderly cousins. Do you think that intervention has something to do with mothers taking up fitness these days? Because the statistics says that about 70% of them are aware, 70% of the pregnant women are aware of the fact that fitness is important, and education, childbirth education is important. But they don't take it up, or they don't, start it. Maybe around only 5 or 10% of them come forward and start doing some kind of physical activity. So, I mean, do you think there is a lot of intervention, outside intervention, that is stopping mothers from doing this, or is it again the informedness of the right information out there?
Well, you said about 70% are aware about the pregnancy fitness, yet they do not take it. The reasons, of course, are many. The first one is fear, because most of them, they are first time pregnant and they don't know whether it is really safe or not. That's one thing, like, the fear within them. The second is also about the societal pressure, because at times what happens is when they see their friends, or like when they see around mothers are doing, so it is kind of fit, that gives them a little assurance that it is kind of okay. So the validation is coming from the society itself, right? So around them, within their community. So that again, like their fear gets kind of resolved. Yeah. So that is one. And the third one is, of course, the awareness is there, as we said, but at the same time, it also needs to come from the caregiver, because the first thing what they also need that one validation from their birth support provider, basically their OBGYNs or doctors. And once they get that go ahead, then it becomes very easy for them to move ahead to start with their prenatal fitness.
So that brings me to my next question, which is more about the support system for a pregnant mother. I mean, as soon as you announce that you're pregnant, all your family and friends are, of course, very happy. But what kind of support is required for mothers pregnant mothers?
Well, the support should be 360-degree, I would say. It's more to do with, first thing first is the family support, and it starts from the partner, right arm always. And the partner, when we talk about the partner support, it's mostly to do with the emotional as well as the physical support as well. We just discussed about, they need a validation. Like, even if a partner comes forward and say, like, it's okay, you can go ahead with the prenatal fitness, when there is a go ahead from your caregiver. So that itself is a validation and a support what the partner has provided. Apart from that, the family or the partner can just give a lot of support in terms of the emotional aspect, because as they're in a very vulnerable phase. So what we need as women is, like, just the small support, even like when we talk about the physical aspect, is more about the just a hug, when they are kind of not in a very great state, because the emotions are pouring during pregnancy because of hormones. The support could be like, just giving a little bit of massage, the hip massage, what we discussed. These are the small, minute support what the partner can really provide to them, or going for a walk together, talking to the baby. That shows the involvement of the partner. And when the partner is equally involved, at times when we say equally, it doesn't mean that, most of the things the partner, have to be there. But at the same time, how much the partner can get themselves involved during the pregnancy, that brings a lot of support system in their mind itself, that, my partner is right beside me to take care of me. So that assurance has to come from the partner a lot. Even at times when the mother is at a very, very emotional phase. And when the partner comes and, like, giving a hug, or like just having a discussion, how they are feeling, I'm there with you. So these kind of affirmations always help the pregnant mothers to sail through their pregnancy. So yes, family support system is very, very important. And also to become the voice of the pregnant mama. To ensure that, there are a lot of unsolicited advices with regards to fitness, with regards to eating. We discussed the nutrition, the sleep. But yes, in case if we can become a secondary voice, like in terms of helping the pregnant mother, when there are a lot of unsolicited advices coming through, probably he can become the voice to really respond to it and take it in a very polite way. So yeah, the support system is
Like more
always
like a
important.
guardian kind of.
Yeah, more like a mentor, more like a guidance, more like a partner. As I would not say guidance, but I said more like a husband, more like a partner, right?
What about in-laws?
Um, Look, in India, there is already a great support system, right? And we should be thanking and we should be very grateful to the fact that we have the support system. Now, what happens is like there is a quote, of course, like saying it takes a village to raise a child, which is absolutely true. Now, when it comes to the family, when it comes to the in-laws, they can definitely support. Of course, they are also coming through some sort of experiences of their own pregnancyhood, right? So, out of concern and out of fear, out of love, they try to give out the best of the best advices to the daughter-in-law or to their daughters, right? At the same time, the pregnant mama is also in such a condition today that it is too much for them to also listen to a lot of people. Now in this, what happens is like there could be a turmoil, a lot of conversational problem or something that way. But to handle this is also to ensure that we respect the in-laws or the mothers, and also to refuse politely if something is not working out for them. So that could really bring out the conversation better, or probably just have one conversation with your family members together. This is what I'm going through and this is how I can really take it forward.
You think that is possible in today's
it is
culture?
not impossible, but it is possible a bit, I would say, because I've heard stories from the Aura Moms community itself, like when they have come to me sharing about like the in-laws are coming out of concern, as I said, but at the same time, the mother is not very happy, right? For example, like eating a lot, eating for two. The in-laws are actually telling her to eat well, but she's enough, she's already full. Now, in this case, how a mother can handle this situation? Probably like, sit together and, try to discuss a bit towards like, I'm really full and this is how my doctor has kind of advised me to eat. Nudging them towards thinking a little bit like, what is better. That could be sorted out instead of like refusing politely, like, no, this is not really right. But just like, having a little discussion around it. So how they are feeling, and probably you can talk about like, this is my doctor's advice. I have to eat only this much. So that way you are kind of that you're able to really take care of the situation. It's not going out of hands.
So we spoke clearly about preparedness so far. Talk us through the preparedness of every phase of pregnancy. Probably could break it down from trimester 1, 2, and 3, not just as a pregnant mother, but as a complete family or friends or extended support. Talk us through that journey of a pregnant mother. How should it be? You spoke about support systems, but from first trimester, second and third, because when you reach the third trimester, you're very close to labor, and what kind of preparation is needed there. First trimester, you're just newly entered the pregnancy journey. So what kind of preparation is required there? So that, if you could throw some light on that.
So the journey from pregnancy to parenting is not very simple and not very complex. Also, it's a balance of both, I would say. So the first trimester, of course, the women or like the pregnant mom, they suffer a lot from, the nausea. A couple of them, they also go through the emotional aspect, like it's the first time for them. So the first trimester as a childbirth educator or as a pregnancy and a postpartum fitness educator, I would say take it slow. Don't burden yourself with a lot of advices around you. When I say take it slow, it is also to get a little bit aware about like, keep listening to your body signs. Like, if I am doing this, probably my body is not accepting it, or this is I'm feeling good about this exercise, or I'm feeling good about this food. Probably keep listening to the body. The first trimester is more to do with the awareness, more to do with the gentle approach towards the body. by doing gentle exercises, not too intense as well. Focusing a little bit on the breathing, reading a lot of good books, I would say, because reading should be an integral part during pregnancy, to be a little aware about, like, how do you feel during pregnancy and what is common, what is not common. Being with the community, because community actually helps a lot in terms of sailing you through that phase of the pregnancy, because if you are just alone, you would think, okay, this is only happening to me, this is not normal. But actually there are different things which are happening to different women.
Are there communities today for pregnant mothers?
When you talk about aura level, yes, we do have a community, and it's a very close space community, which we are very proud of, like how today moms are helping each other in terms of sailing through that prenatal phase. Then we also have the postpartum community, wherein like they help each other in terms of helping out with the questions related to the baby, related to the postpartum phase, and at different odd hours as well, right? So yes, it's a close-knit community again at Aura, which is helping each other again to rise above their phases. Talking about the second phase, the second trimester, what you talk about. So second trimester is more about preparing your body towards a little bit endurance and fitness. Now, when we talk about the fitness, strength training, what we really discuss a lot, because strength training actually helps in building the muscle. Now, building the muscle, why building the muscle is important during pregnancy? Because we need those muscle stamina and strength to push through the labor also, right? So you will not be able to do that in the first trimester. You will not be able to do it in the third trimester. You got to do it in the second trimester a lot, because the strength is building, because second goes very easy for most of the couples, compared to the first and the third. Now, strength building, endurance building, training towards the muscle, different muscles again, focusing more on the breathing, and be aware also what is happening around, right? So second trimester is more about the body preparation towards stamina and strength. Now, the third trimester is more about what? Birth and the labor preparation. Now, birth and the labor preparation, when we talk about, it's more to do with mobility exercises, like, the pelvic floor opening, hip mobility again, the sciatica muscles again, working on those. So that is leading to what? That is leading to, the muscles. Hey, I'm telling the muscles, like, hey, you have to be ready for the labor, because there is something is going to happen. So I'm preparing those muscles to get ready for the labor. So there is a lot what we focus on, and we let the mothers understand about their different nerves, different muscles again, right? So coming back to the third trimester, it's more to do with your birth preparation, more to do with your labor preparation, and most importantly, mindset. And that's why we let the couples go through the childbirth, which means labor and the birth prep workshops, wherein it is quite comprehensive. We discuss more to do with the stages of labor. How do you speak to a caregiver? How would you really make a birth plan? Birth plan should not be on a piece of paper, but it should be more like a conversation with your caregiver. So now what is happening is, like, I'm letting go of the fear and the inhibitions of the couple, because the partner wants to support their, wives in huge way, but he doesn't know how to support it. Like, probably just being there, but being there, how to be there, like, through different ways, through exercises or affirmations, or speaking to the caregiver, different questions to be asked. So that is the preparation towards the labor and the birth. And the last one is also to do more with the postpartum phase. So it is not that pregnancy or the labor is just gonna end. And it is not just like a bed of roses, but it is more to do with the postpartum phase also. Now, postpartum phase is like an ocean, because both of them are very new to this journey, and they don't know how to really tackle emotionally, mentally, plus their relationship gets affected because of lack of sleep, because of lack of support from the family members around, or there are no nannies around, work is getting affected. So you see there are different issues coming up, but most importantly is, again, you have a responsibility, new child. So as in, like, you need to get prepared about, like, the postpartum phase. How can you handle? So when I say how can you handle, it's more to do what can I expect during postpartum. Get prepared for your breastfeeding, like, take up the lactation classes wherever you're doing it, but make sure that you learn about the lactation.
Also lactation.
So lactation, breastfeeding, understand why the breast milk is not coming, how the latching should be done. So these are the small snippets and basics of breastfeeding. Most of the mothers, 80% of the moms come back and, talk about, like, I'm suffering from lack of milk. My baby is not able to latch the nipple. So you see, if you would have just gotten a little informed away prior, it would have been easier for you. At least 50% would have just, the journey would have become easier. So what we say is, like, get prepared for the postpartum phase as well a little bit early, than just waiting.
When you're pregnant.
Yeah, then just waiting and doing at the last time. Even, like, for example, talking about the nannies or the caretakers. It is nothing wrong to not take help. It is absolutely okay to take help, from the caretakers or from the nanny or from the Japa maids today. Because
what's a Japa maid?
So Japa maid is basically more like a midwife, not exactly a midwife, but they are the professionals who come and help the mother and the baby during their phases of postpartum. So in terms of, she will help the mother to understand how to latch, taking care of her food, taking care of baby's food, helping the baby to really, help in burping, help in diaper changing. So a lot of things in the first few months, they will try to help the mother and the baby phase, right? So yes, there is nothing wrong to really take help from people around, unless and until if you really feel that you would like to do all alone. So yes, so that is also not bad at all. So lifting buckets is quite different from lifting dumbbells. Optimal nutrition and the right nutrition plays a very, very big role in the health of the pregnancy, and also the postpartum recovery, right? What you eat also during pregnancy. Breastfeeding works in demand and supply process. Like, the more you breastfeed, the supply also comes in a similar way, which means the baby has to suck the breast more for the production to happen more, right? Fear of going through longest labor is also one of the fears today most of the mothers go through. For the marriages, we don't give that voice to somebody else. For the births, we should not be giving it, but rather you should be discussing it. Okay, according to WHO, the stats today of the C-section, which is again the cesarean, is 10 to 15% is something where every country has to really respect. But today, India is standing at 21.5, which is again a little bit of alarming figure, I would say.